I'm a disabled veteran who, like many others, faced job loss due to the pandemic. Since then, I've been at home while my wife continues to work. Our son was born just before COVID turned the world upside down, and now he's a year old. In this time, I've taken on the full range of household duties, from cooking and cleaning to managing the laundry, making sure everything stays in order. On top of that, I've been caring for our 2 kids, our 9-year-old and our baby, helping with school assignments and ensuring their meals are ready. My ex-wife and I both endured difficult childhoods, and we were determined to provide our kids with the nurturing we never had. Sadly, she hoped our last child might mend our crumbling relationship. I supported her choice to work more hours for extra income, but when the pandemic struck, our financial struggles intensified. To save money and lighten her workload, we moved in with my mother. It was during this period I discovered she had been involved with someone else since March. My suspicions grew in April, and by May, on my birthday, I was certain. Her betrayal, combined with her growing distance, left me feeling utterly abandoned. Now, my kids and I live with my mom while she has moved in with her new partner. Even though nearly a month has passed, the sting of separation remains fresh. My daughter has emotionally distanced herself from her mother, and my son doesn't even ask for basic things like milk. While they seem to have adjusted to the change, I'm left battling loneliness. It's as if I was walking alongside someone, sharing a meaningful journey, only to look back and find they've disappeared. 14 years of my life feel like they've been reduced to nothing. To find a sense of purpose, I turned to physical fitness and proudly achieved a goal I'd been chasing for years, getting my weight under 200 pounds. My children are my driving force, and I'm committed to pushing forward for their sake. Writing poetry has also become an outlet for my emotions. Because she kept lying about her ongoing involvement with the other man, I've realized there's no point in trying to maintain communication. Despite the lingering pain, I'm trying to stay hopeful. Finding the right lawyer has been challenging, especially as my mom is cautious about who to trust, but I want someone reliable and capable to help with this process. My brother and mother have been my rock through these challenges. While I initially planned to draft a separation agreement and consult a lawyer, the cost proved prohibitive. However, I've taken a positive step by attending therapy sessions for myself and my daughter. To prepare her for school, I've started using reading and math workbooks to help her regain her focus. As for my soon-to-be ex-wife, she's currently in a psychiatric hospital. While I sincerely wish for her recovery, I'm unsure whether it's best for her to become more involved in our children's lives. She chose her partner over her own kids, and I worry she might repeat that pattern as they grow older. At first, I wanted to be there for her, but I've since realized I need to prioritize my own healing. Cutting off contact feels necessary for my recovery, even though I hope she finds her way back to health. Does that make me selfish? I've avoided asking about the details of her hospitalization, but based on my experience as a firefighter, I suspect it might involve harmful behaviors. I plan to proceed with the trial soon while continuing to focus on supporting my kids and protecting them from unnecessary pain. To keep life somewhat normal, I organized a drawing evening for us. Watching my little boy struggle with separation anxiety has been heartbreaking. Each time his mother visits after weeks of absence, it only seems to deepen his distress. Her inability to recognize these effects makes it even harder to navigate. This ordeal has been overwhelming, and facing it alone has been incredibly challenging. I miss the person she once was, and coming to terms with who she is now has been a difficult journey. Our daughter, despite everything, still looks up to her mother with admiration. She imitates her and wants to feel connected to her. I know she harbors some resentment due to the situation, but fully understanding her emotions feels like an impossible task. Over the past 2 months, my ex has visited the kids 4 or 5 times, even letting them stay overnight at her new home. However, her communication with our daughter has been one-sided, with every conversation initiated by her. Looking back, I realize I missed the warning signs for far too long. I now see how detached our daughter seemed during that period, barely acknowledging me, responding with curt, one-word answers, and keeping her phone flipped face down. She often made excuses to leave for work, avoiding any meaningful interaction. At the time, I brushed it off, but in hindsight, it was all too clear. During that time, I essentially became a babysitter while she indulged in a social life filled with parties and her new relationship. The reality hit me hard on my birthday when she made no effort to celebrate or acknowledge the day, something that had always mattered before. That was when I began digging deeper and uncovered that she had been involved with her colleagues since March. Back in February, we went on a family trip, and I genuinely believed things were fine. But now, I've learned to trust my gut and not be misled by appearances again. Despite everything, I still hope she finds happiness and stability, for the sake of our children, if nothing else. My priority remains unwavering, giving my children the love and support they need. To maintain a healthy environment for them, I've chosen to limit my interactions with her, focusing solely on matters that directly concern the kids. Unfortunately, she keeps reaching out to me as if nothing has happened. I tried responding with civility at first, but her nonchalance only fueled my frustration. I eventually responded with anger, realizing I wasn't ready to talk to her. Before cutting ties, I frequently shared photos of the kids, hoping she'd understand what she was leaving behind. It seems her relationship with her new partner didn't work out as planned, and now she's in the hospital. She's expressed a desire to play a bigger role in our kids' lives, but with her busy schedule and living an hour away, it feels impractical. I used to support her after work, but I've stopped allowing myself to be her fallback option. I know my worth, and I deserve better than being treated as a last resort. Once she's emotionally stable, we can work on creating a healthier co-parenting dynamic. For now, I can't be the one to save her. It didn't work before, and it won't work now. After speaking with her doctor, I learned she'll be discharged soon. While I feel guilty, I know she needs to find her own way, especially since she chose to leave us. The thought of her harming herself fills me with dread, making it hard to breathe at times. On top of that, her affair partner recently reached out to me on Facebook. I blocked him immediately and took a screenshot for evidence. Breaking my no-contact rule, I told my ex about it, expecting her to handle the situation. But she showed little interest, saying it wasn't her responsibility to deal with him. Technically, she's right, it isn't her job. Still, I'd hoped she would take some accountability. Instead, she shifted the focus to how she's working on improving herself for the kids' sake. That experience taught me a vital lesson. No matter how much it hurts, never break the no-contact rule. Now, a month into maintaining that boundary, I'm still bothered by this person trying to follow me, but honestly, he doesn't matter to me. My real anger lies with the aftermath of my relationship with my ex. Situations like this only slow my progress. The resentment I feel toward her runs deep. I once thought I'd love her forever, but now, memories of her trigger anger, and I often find myself muttering curses under my breath. This isn't who I am. I've never been someone to hold grudges, but my ex-wife's actions have changed that. The hardest part is putting on a brave face for the kids. I never speak negatively about her around them, but when my daughter mentions her, it takes every ounce of strength to stay neutral. I refuse to let her or the man she left me for derail my progress. He may have taken my wife, but I won't let him take my peace. I'm committed to protecting my emotional well-being and keeping both of them far from me and the kids. On weekends, I cherish movie nights with my daughter, and during the week, I take daily walks with my son while his sister is at school. Fatherhood brings me immense joy, even though it leaves little time for myself. Most of my free moments are spent training, and the only adult I fully trust right now is my Veterans Affairs consultant. My focus at the moment is on healing from post-traumatic stress disorder. However, my ex continues to occupy my thoughts, making it hard to stay present and give my children the undivided attention they deserve. It's a bitter pill to swallow, realizing how much I feel used. I poured so much into supporting her career, standing by her during late work hours and even massaging her feet when she came home exhausted. Now, I'm left with nothing but a hollow sense of insignificance, as though all my efforts were meaningless. I can't help but wonder if others have faced similar struggles, and if so, how they've managed to endure and heal. Physical activities like training and kickboxing have given me some relief, but it feels like just a small step on the long road to recovery. In an effort to move forward, I took the plunge and joined a dating site, even though I know deep down that I'm not emotionally ready for a new relationship. Recently, I've been working on stepping out of my comfort zone and being more honest with myself. Recovering from the pain of infidelity is undoubtedly a steep climb. A few months ago, I came across a book called Stop Being Mr. Nice Guy. It explores the white knight theory and offers strategies to break free from it. Reflecting on my past actions, I can admit that I fell into some of those patterns, but I don't think I was ever motivated by the need to collect nice guy points. After my time in the army, maintaining structure and order became second nature to me. I took pride in keeping things in check, hoping to ease her workload and bring her a little comfort. Problem solving has always been part of who I am, whether in my career or personal life. Looking back, though, I can't help but wonder if being considerate and helpful has truly served me well. I've always been the person who tries to leave things better than I found them. During my time at the fire department, living with other guys taught me the importance of cleaning up after myself. But now, I'm questioning if my kindness was misplaced or undervalued. Is it wrong to value kindness? Sadly, it seems that finding genuinely kind people is rare, while encountering pain is all too common. Watching my ex embrace her new lifestyle has been deeply disheartening, especially since, after only 6 months, she's already pursuing full custody of our kids and asking for spousal support. I'm anxiously awaiting the upcoming trial. Right now, my thoughts are consumed by managing my PTSD, ensuring my children's well-being, and confronting my simmering anger toward my soon-to-be ex-wife. While I strive to focus on the first two, I can't help but wish time would move faster to put some distance between me and this turmoil. Though I try to stay present, there's an undeniable emptiness that lingers inside me. Recently, my wife informed me that our daughter had confided in her about thoughts of self-harm, stemming from their lack of communication. They hadn't spoken throughout November. Not long after, a deputy sheriff contacted me, asking me to surrender a firearm registered in my wife's name since she's no longer permitted to possess it. Moments like these make me question whether my hope for reconciliation is simply naive. When she shared her distressing thoughts about harming herself, I felt compelled to take them seriously and removed the block on her number so we could talk. We resumed some correspondence, but I can't shake the feeling that she's still spending time with her boyfriend and using this situation as a way to see the kids. I tread cautiously, unsure of her true intentions. If she were to end her relationship with him, whether she's still with him or not, I might consider reconciliation. However, I'd need her to proceed with the divorce as planned and sign a written agreement granting me full custody of our children. I've already filed my response to her divorce petition, and now we're waiting for a court date. I suspect she realizes her position in court is unfavorable, which only adds to her anxiety. She told me that her family has stopped communicating with her, something I can confirm since I'm still in touch with many of them. She also mentioned wanting to find a job closer to our city, which I genuinely hope she follows through on. Tonight, we took the kids to the movies. Our daughter's therapist expressed concerns about self-harm, so I took immediate action to address it. Even our 1-year-old lights up when he sees his mother again. Despite their joy, I feel emotionally distant from her. On the other hand, I've been exploring Bumble and have made a few decent connections, though nothing serious yet. There are a couple of people I'd like to build deeper connections with, but the reality is daunting. Most people aren't eager to get involved with someone raising 2 children. I also worry about the possibility that, after months of developing a meaningful relationship, my daughter might reject them entirely. To be honest, if my daughter had rejected me, I would have ended this relationship entirely. Yet, since the breakup, my life has started to improve. I've been consistent with therapy, monitoring my diet, and even dedicating time to practicing Kung Fu. The personal growth I've experienced since she left has been profound, leaving me unsure about whether it would be wise or unwise to consider reuniting as a family. On one hand, she's now attending therapy and taking medication, which marks significant progress for her. On the other hand, I can't ignore the uncertainties surrounding her intentions. She's expressed interest in us attending couples therapy together, but the speed at which everything is happening feels overwhelming. If it turns out she's pregnant by someone else and attempting to manipulate me into raising the child, I know I can't go down that road. My thoughts and doubts seem endless, and I find myself in need of guidance. I don't yet know what I truly want. While part of me feels a desire to reconcile, I'm also keenly aware of her past actions. My daughter's well-being is a major factor in my decision-making process, urging me to proceed cautiously. Decisions based solely on emotions won't suffice here, but I can't deny that my children's happiness holds the greatest importance to me. If given the opportunity, I might consider investing another 10 years in this relationship, making a genuine effort to rebuild. However, my current circumstances are complex. As a disabled veteran with a low rating during our marriage, I've recently sought assistance from Veteran Services to increase my rating. If approved, this change could significantly improve my financial situation, potentially allowing me to earn more than my ex does now. This shift could also strengthen my case for becoming the primary caregiver, especially given her recent struggles. Her harmful behaviors and the need to surrender her firearm speak volumes about her current state. I firmly believe this aligns with prioritizing the children's well-being, as well as protecting the stable foundation I've been building for myself and my family. While she claims to attend therapy 3 times a week and take medication, it's hard for me to gauge her sincerity. In our 16 years of marriage, self-harm was never an issue for her. Yet since the separation, she's made 3 attempts. It's difficult to determine whether these actions stem from genuine distress or are an attempt to manipulate me. Knowing my past experiences as a firefighter, having witnessed so many traumatic situations, I know that even if people don't follow through with their worst intentions, they often end up inflicting severe harm on themselves. Memories of those moments haunt me. The blood, the metallic taste in the air, the sight of strong individuals broken by their pain. Recently, I spoke with my daughter. She expressed her longing for us to be a family again, with all 4 of us together. I had to be honest with her, explaining that I couldn't forgive her mother if she remained in her current relationship. I urged her not to get her hopes too high. This conversation made me realize that maintaining complete emotional detachment from my ex isn't sustainable. My negativity towards her is palpable, and it's starting to affect the kids. While my ex might not understand the immense effort reconciliation would require, it's a concern I can't ignore. I refuse to let her dictate the pace of my progress, just as I can't allow my children to determine the outcome of our relationship. If we're to restore any semblance of family, it's on me to set an example and take initiative. I need to show my children that I won't succumb to emotional manipulation, and that their father is someone who stands firm in his decisions. But here's the haunting truth. Reuniting with this woman won't magically fix our family. If anything, it could make things worse. I constantly worry about how my daughter would perceive a relationship marred by lingering toxicity. If her mother leaves again, the fallout could be devastating, both for her and for all of us. There's also the risk that my daughter might unknowingly attract unhealthy relationships into her own life, having witnessed such patterns in ours. Still, this could be an opportunity to teach her that love isn't always perfect. It's messy and complicated, far from a picture-perfect fairy tale. If my ex is genuinely committed to seeking guidance through therapy, perhaps there's a sliver of hope. Even if the chances of success are slim, just 1%, I'm willing to try to mend our family. Of course, I understand the risks. If neither of us can make meaningful changes, this relationship is undoubtedly doomed. But at the very least, I'll know I did everything in my power to try. Let me know if you'd like any adjustments or further refinements. However, if she continues with therapy, takes her medication, and develops true self-awareness, there may be a chance for us to overcome everything. In the future, when our children are grown, if we decide to part ways, I can accept that. As long as we've raised them properly, instilled the right values, I'll assess her actions to evaluate her character at that time. She claims she's no longer involved with the affair partner. She says she's been attending therapy and taking medication since July, revealing that her recent life hasn't been as fulfilling as I assumed and that she's been feeling down for several months. I tend to attribute these struggles to her mental health issues, so I believe it's important to consult with her therapist before considering any possibility of reconciliation. If she's diagnosed with bipolar disorder or it's confirmed that her issues stem from a major depressive episode and she expresses genuine remorse, we might have an opportunity for healing. However, if she desires an open relationship, it's better for both of us to move on. I'm deeply grateful to all of you for sharing your thoughts and perspectives, as it's clear you understand the pain that trauma causes. I've come to realize that she may have been using manipulation to push me towards reconciliation. She informed me that after our breakup, she made 3 attempts to harm herself. Currently, she attends therapy 3 times a week. In our individual and group discussions, she mentioned being on medication. While I haven't spoken directly to her therapist, I suspect she's dealing with severe depression and possibly codependency. She expressed a desire to quit her job and find a place nearby so she could spend more time with the children. She also talked about feeling a lack of family in her life. After a recent movie outing, she visited us several times, which brought great joy to our daughter. This led me to break the no-contact period. The school psychotherapist is concerned about the possibility of my daughter engaging in harmful behavior due to the emotional fallout from her mother's rejection. On a positive note, my son seems to be doing well, but I can't help but miss her and wish we could reunite our family. I remember how much she loved me, especially since we've been together since we were 18. Recently, she asked me out on a date. While I agreed because I can see she's making an effort, deep down, I know I'm not emotionally ready for that. It's important to emphasize that I'm not considering a relationship with her at this time. If it were to happen, I would insist on a paternity test. I won't be deceived or take responsibility for a child that isn't mine. I've made it clear that I would only consider reconciliation if we proceed with the divorce and I gain full custody of the children. My main focus now is securing 100% custody. That way, if complications arise from her continued relationship with her partner, I'll have full control and she'll be able to move on. Additionally, I'm still active on dating apps. I won't deactivate them until I'm sure she's not involved with anyone else. Just yesterday, I felt youthful and alive. There wasn't a clear reason for my happiness, but it gave my self-esteem a boost. I often find myself attracted to people who are a bit too tough for me. I'm sure many of you can relate, knowing that it's often an uphill battle, but I'm determined to keep trying for the sake of my children. Yet, I remain puzzled by her claims of unhappiness after our separation. It's hard to reconcile that with her actions, especially when she cheated on me and left our children for someone else. If I were younger, I might have responded with more anger, but now I'm even considering the possibility of reconciling with my father, despite our differing approaches to problem solving. I hope this decision will lead to a positive outcome, but I'm uncertain about the future. As far as I know, there's no indication that she's pregnant, and I have no reason to suspect it. Though she appeared hesitant, she has agreed to 100% custody if we decide to reconcile. She insists she's no longer involved with the affair partner or anyone else, but at this stage, it's challenging for me to trust her fully. We exchange apologies through text messages, but we haven't managed to have a one-on-one conversation without the children present. She's expressed regret for seeking confirmation from someone else, but hasn't directly apologized for the betrayal itself. Until she explicitly admits remorse for the betrayal, I will assume she doesn't regret it. On a positive note, she has agreed to attend couples therapy, which is a significant step given her previous resistance to therapy. This was one of the reasons I hesitated to seek help for my post-traumatic stress disorder. I understand that significant challenges lie ahead as my heart is still mending, but I'm determined to rebuild my family no matter the difficulties. I sincerely make this commitment. While she may have broken her vow, I continue to hold firm to the vows I've made throughout my life. Reflecting on what I miss and cherish, I genuinely miss her unwavering dedication to caring for our children. Her caring and affectionate nature made her an exceptional mother to our daughter. I also appreciate her witty and sarcastic humor. The way she pronounces my name holds a special place in my heart, as does her unique fragrance. Her look when I'm about to make a foolish decision fills me with affection. Her belief that I'm an excellent cook brings me joy. Additionally, her ability to be kind and harmonious with others is truly admirable. Ultimately, I'm captivated by her determination to tackle unfamiliar concepts. Even if she doesn't fully understand them, I realize how much I value her uniqueness, which aligns with my own. I deeply miss her presence and wholeheartedly apologize for past mistakes. If we end up in court together, the best outcome I can hope for is shared custody, with her having overnight visits every weekend. However, my top priority is obtaining full custody of our children. I fully accept the responsibility for any potential setbacks, but 100% custody would provide me with peace of mind, knowing I've done everything in my power. Even with my attempts at reconciliation, I understand the importance of securing the best future for our children. I consistently felt anxiety, realizing that I was only being used as a means for her to see the children. Despite this, she visited the children only a few times and never took care of them for extended periods. I naively hoped that she could become the same mother she was to our children, but she didn't fulfill the role of a mother. Instead, she appeared as someone who feels guilty from time to time and wishes to visit the life I've built. Currently, we are not officially divorced. She filed for divorce last June and I filed my response. Since then, I haven't received any updates from the court. I decided to wait before taking any further action because, in my state, if a parent leaves and doesn't contact their children for a year, they can be accused of child abandonment. In my view, that's exactly what happened, and I hope the lawyer and the judge will agree, granting me sole custody. My dilemma is that she's trying to get better. She shows a desire to visit the children, especially our son, but seems to have refused to rebuild her relationship with her daughter. While I understand that change takes time, it's challenging for me to trust her actions and decisions. None of the above questions relate to our romantic relationship. Should I wait for a court message or take the initiative to consult with a lawyer and file a claim for termination of parental rights? Seeking sole custody? If I decide to seek legal assistance, I'll be committed to taking significant steps. I must admit I acted naively, trusting this woman for so long. I genuinely believe that people have inherent goodness. Even if someone stumbles and loses their way, it doesn't mean they are entirely lost. Should I distance myself from my spouse to protect our children from further trauma? Thankfully, life with the children is going well. I'm receiving online counseling through a local veterans rehabilitation center, which has been incredibly helpful in managing my post-traumatic stress disorder. Recognizing the struggles my daughter is facing, I arranged for her to meet with a counselor provided by her school. Unfortunately, my little boy, at just 2 years old, still misses his mother and occasionally asks about her. To comfort him, I tell him that she's at work when she's not around. It takes him some time to adjust when she's present. I worry that her ongoing involvement in his life at this delicate stage might create future challenges for him. Each morning, we share a beautiful ritual of reading and singing children's songs. We enjoy fun activities throughout the day until his sister returns home. Watching his progress has been a true joy. Every day he picks up a new word and, overall, he radiates happiness. I'm preparing for the potential emotional consequences of abandonment at his age by teaching him calming techniques like breathing exercises and engaging hand games. As for me, I've ventured into dating apps and met a few potential partners, but I know I'm not ready for a serious relationship yet. Right now, I find comfort in focusing on my personal growth, dedicating time to exercise and therapy. I'm solely responsible for the upbringing and care of my children. While full custody comes with its own set of challenges, I don't expect alimony from my ex, though it would certainly be helpful financially. Another concern is my son possibly holding a grudge against me for not allowing his mother to be involved and for not offering her assistance. However, I believe it's in the best interest of the children to keep this dishonest and mentally unwell woman out of our lives. 7 months have passed. The divorce process was long and painful, with my ex-wife inflicting physical harm on herself and undergoing a lengthy recovery. In the end, I made the decision to remove this woman from our lives. I have a court order preventing her from approaching me or the children. She's currently in a mental health facility, and I'm doing everything I can to ensure my children have a happy life and move past the negative effects of their mother's presence.